Hey, today I'm sort of doing a Q&A. There's a couple of things that people have brought up in the comment section or written emails to me about that I wanted to address today. And this first one was a comment recently from Vex. And let me just take you so you can see what I'm talking about. Just a sec, here we go. So the question is here. What do I think is the minimum points for a tournament game? 625, 7? I actually think you could go a lot lower than that. I am running Sealand Open in May, and for Sealand Open, we have a couple of games at 400 points. Rifle platoons only, 400 points. It means that the game goes back to being a game primarily about infantry. Everyone seems, and we've been training the 400 points at my local game store for a couple of times now, and everyone enjoys it. It's really fun. It's very, very quick. Very quick games. So I think you can go as low as 400 points. I also think that may be the limit of how far you can take the game down in small points. But I think it's actually a very interesting idea to do. It means that you focus back on what's important in the game, on the infantry and on the decisions of a very few units. Basically somewhere between 6 and 9 units, I think, is what you'll see most people bring in 400 points. You can also go very quickly, so the games won't take as long, and you can have many more games in a tournament. So for me, 400, 500, 600 points maybe. Yeah, I would absolutely enjoy fighting in a tournament like that. That's really cool for me. What are your thoughts on revamping Firefight Skirmish back to V3? I wish someone would do it. For me, I think I'm too much of a tournament player. I like the big tournaments. I can enjoy skirmish fights, but I think there are other systems that does it better than Bolt Action does. So I wouldn't write the rules for this. But I think the first thing you have to do is you have to make it about individual people. So I think you should take inspiration from other rule sets that does individual miniatures really well. So for instance, Infinity the game. I would look to that. I would look to that game, and you would need a lot more terrain than we have on typical Bolt Action tables. So that would be my suggestion for that. Second comment that I want to address today is Jack, who wrote to me something. You've all gotten your mystery boxes, right? Everyone's sitting out there with your mystery boxes. And he just sent me a picture of his and said, what could you build with this? So he's gotten, there are 48 Soviets, 8 in the KV-1 box. Okay, so it's a tank with some infantry. Okay, 48. Let's remember that number. 48 Soviet torsos and legs. A T-34 and a KV-1. That is a good start to a Soviet force, but you can also do Lend-Lease with the Stuart, the Sherman, and the M10. So I think potentially I wouldn't go building early war Soviets, but I think we should, if I'm going to try and build something, which I will, I think I'll try and build something that's late war Soviets. So I think we should try and go to Easy Army. 48 Soviet dudes and what have you, right? So here we are, Easy Army, and we're going to build a new platoon. Right, you guys can see me all right, yeah. New platoon, Soviets. So something that we can take to a tournament and expect to do relatively well, just based on your mystery box here. We need an armored platoon, because you're not going to do well in tournaments without an armored platoon, but you also need a rifle platoon to unlock the armored platoon. So let's grab ourselves a commander, making him inexperienced, and let's grab ourselves a couple of extra dudes, because the SMGs, that is always nice. I also think that you could very easily, from the Soviet box, I think you can build AT rifles, if I remember correctly. I hope I am. I think you can. But you cannot build dog mines because it hasn't really got the dogs for that. So if you could find yourself some dogs elsewhere, but that's not part of this mental exercise, right? So I am just taking 3 AT rifles because they're good. Light mortars, I can't remember if, let's go and check this out, right? So just a sec, let's see his image here. It was, there we go. So it was the Red Army Infantry Soviet box here. Let's see if we can actually find the sprues for that. And see if there are... Wait a sec. Pictures. Yeah, it's not that one. It's that one, right? What do we have in that? 40, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, they do have AT rifles. You can build snipers. Riflemen, riflemen, riflemen. I am not seeing any light mortars. Yeah. Yeah, there's the AT rifle. We do get quite a lot of nice SMGs here. Lots of nice SMGs. We can build snipers. We don't want that, but we can. And I think we can also build light machine guns. Okay. No light mortars, unfortunately. Because I would have wanted to buy some light mortars. But, you know, we can definitely go and grab ourselves some backline holders. So regulars. And we'll give them... where do we have them? Light machine guns. 1, and you know, you can get 2. Why not? We're going to buy 2 of these units. It'll be 5-man units. It'll be an NCO, 2 loaders, 2 LMGs. That is going to be very, very strong backline holding unit here. And then we're going to do a little bit of kit bashing, a little bit of modifying, because we're going to make some of these dudes into scouts. Now, I know that you can buy scouts, but I've never heard anyone complain if you just, you know, drape your model in a cloak, right? Use some gauze or whatever, and just create a little cloak for him, a little camo cloak, and you have a scout, right? No one is going to complain about that. So I want my scout units here to be big. We've used 13 dudes, right? 2 times 5, and then 3 men for the officer team. So I'm buying 7-men units here, and I'm giving them all SMGs, because they're going to really kick ass, right? So that's 403 points. I'm going to buy 2 of these. Here we go. Yep. Now these scouts are going to be absolutely godlike. Lovely. It's also really easy to make a company commander, so why not? And you know what? I'll get him as cheap as possible. Just have one of the guys in your with a hat instead of the helmet, right? And you have a command officer. Right. Next thing that we do is we buy ourselves an armored platoon. And right now we can't get the armored platoon that I want, so I'm going to go and grab myself some American-made stuff. US? Ah, there we go. US armored platoon. Because we're going to be using Lend-Lease. As per the fact, you're allowed to do this. We will make our main battle tank. We will make that a T-34. Should we make it an OT-34 maybe? Yeah. It's a small modification. It's just the whole mounted MMG. Build it a little differently and you've got an OT, right? So you get a medium anti-tank gun, 9+ tank. Yeah. That's what we want to do. Why the OT? Because it's way more deadly. It can destroy 2 targets instead of just 1. Remember, we need to go and get the command vehicle rule. Added. Yes. There we go. Now we go and look at the Lend-Lease stuff. We need 1 more vehicle in order to make a valid brain's not working. A valid armor platoon. So we'll grab the Steward. Now you could buy make it a Steward Satan. I wouldn't recommend it. So let's just grab a regular Steward. We're not going to make it all of that, but we could give it recce. Reinforced frontal armor, that gives us another 9+ tank. And what about a pintle-mounted HMG? I think we should get that as well. 25 points. It is a little expensive, but it is more pins for the enemy tanks. And that brings us to 1,000 points just in the box. Let's view and see if this is actually competitive in any shape or form. 11 order dice is way too low. Oh man, I am spending. So no, it's not competitive. No. What do we need? We need to cut down on some of all of this stuff, right? I would want to keep the tanks. The tanks are good. We need more order dice. That's the main worry. You know what? Cut the scouts down. There we go. We're cutting them down to 5-man squads. And we'll remove one here, just clear it, just a sec. And then we'll get a second rifle platoon. Again, Soviets, we're building Soviets. Rifle platoon, commander, here we go. Inex. And we'll get regular infantry. We will get 1 LMG. And I'll pull off some of the LMGs. This is optimization, right? this is what I often do when I build my list. I go back over it and it says, right, does this even make sense? I need more of that. I'll build myself at least one more AT team, because those AT rifles are just damn good. And one more. Let's go back, pull off those extra LMGs here. Just pushing it down, so that's one LMG in each unit. That'll give me more order dice, but cut down on the effectiveness of each order dice. Doesn't matter, they're mostly there to give like single pins a little bit of damage. Right, the only thing that we potentially could need at this point is some sort of transport for that platoon commander. Does that mean we're gonna have to sacrifice the HMG? We are! Oh, that sucks. But this is the fun thing about bold action, right? You're needing to go and do different things, right? Buy different things and start over sometimes. Get yourself something else. This for me is actually kind of fun. And it's also fun that you can't do everything at the same time. Look at that. 973. That gives us enough so that our platoon commander or our company commander can get a gas jeep. Inexperience, 14 points. It's just there to transport him up. The platoon commander most likely, but it could be the company commander. We have 13 points left over. 13. What to buy with 13 points? You buy an extra dude for your company commander, don't you? So that's 6 points left over. Spending the points, we're gonna have to get ourselves a submachine gun. Done. That is it. Let's view. So 16 order dice. 16, that's the magic number. Platoon commander, 3 extra dudes. That's a lot of submachine guns, right? If I want to throw something at something where they're going to have to react, I'll throw that up. We have the regular infantry here, light machine guns. We've got the scouts to forward deploy and maybe kill, you know, that one air observer or whatever. We've got a company commander to keep everyone going, to snap to a lot of dudes. We've got all the AT rifles here that we could possibly ever need, especially because we've got more down here, more regular infantry. All of that can be snapped to. And then we have the armored platoon here, some of it Lend-Lease, some of it just Soviet gear. The OT tank is our Death Star. It is going to go in the center of the board. And the Stuart light tank can then try and see if it can clip something and kill it. Right. That, I think, was it from me today. Thank you all for your comments and your questions. I do try to read everything, but I don't always have the time to respond to everything. So if you have questions, write them to me in the comments or send me an email. The email is in the description. Cheers.